It's the beginner crafter. Welcome to another FlossTube video, and well, I've worked hard these past 2 weeks, and I've achieved all that I wanted, maybe even slightly more than I expected. So that's pretty good news, considering it's been a busy 2 weeks, and the next weeks might get busier, especially after the first week of November. So everything I can do now, it's really good news, and there are a few things that I'm really proud about. So the first one is Peppermint Purple's Blackwork Stitch Along for 2022, and I've done the September fillers. So this is like figure 8 and these 3 here, and these were very geometric shapes, and I have to say I like them a lot. They were pretty easy to make, not too much confusion about where to put which stitches, so it went pretty smoothly. So I'm glad I have it done. I also noticed suddenly I haven't done the border for the whole thing, and I remember this was one of the first things I did for the previous year, and this year I haven't really got around to it. I know at the beginning I was like putting it for later, but then somehow throughout the year it just completely went out of my head, and only this week I realized, whoa, I haven't even started doing the border. And this year I was also planning to do the like filler between the border and the design, so I have to figure it out. I mean, I do have the one that I like, so I just need to get down to it, but somehow for now I wasn't thinking about it. So that's a plan for the next, I guess, 2 weeks, because it shouldn't yet be the end of the month. Like, I mean, there might be at the end of those 2 weeks, but on the other hand, I will be leaving for a long weekend, so I probably will have to record the FlossTube like before the weekend, so it will not be the end of the month when the full month is posted. So I won't be doing any fillers for October, but I might get ready to do some border stitching, and then I will be able to show you that at least, although that's still something I'll have to think about if I really want to get down to it and start doing the border already, or maybe wait and do it later, or think about it a bit more. I'll still have to think about it, but look how little is left. Really not a lot of rectangles, not a lot of weeks left until the end of the year, so that's kind of scary, but also exciting to be nearing the completion of our project. Speaking of nearing the completion of our project, here's the Virgo. Can you see? The main body of it is done. Whew, that's really great news. There are some confetti stitches here and there, and I'll be doing them in the near future. I don't know if unnecessarily these next 2 weeks, but yeah, in a very near future. So yes, the main part of the Virgo is done, and I'm super excited about it, super happy, super pumped, because that's another project almost finished, and it just needs very little work, and I'll have more time to focus on other projects. So, you know, all the work I've been putting onto this, I can now put into other projects and just work a bit more and do more progress on other things that are mostly much bigger than the Virgo, so they will need more work, more stitches from me. And also, this project was quite a thread eater because I had to use 3 strands, because this is a 14 count Ida, so the recommended thickness of thread is 3 strands, so it ate quite a lot of thread because of that, and all the other projects use 1 or 2 strands, so they are much more economical when it comes to eating yarn, even not yarn, thread, even though they are much bigger. And of course I will use more thread with them, but that's not, you know, you don't see it as much as when you just thread 1 thread or 2 strands of thread instead of 3 like here. So another point to be happy about finishing it. Not fully finished because of those confetti stitches here and there, but really close, and the main part is done, so not as many stitches left to be completed, so yay. And now to move to 2 projects that I did quite a lot of progress, but they're nowhere near being finished, and that's Miranda, that had a pause last time, and I'm also considering pausing it because it's the area of quite a lot of confetti stitches, maybe not as much in the foam kind of part, because this is quite a lot of stitches of the same color or shades, but in here there's getting a lot of confetti stitches, and I'm not happy about it. But at least I'm getting into the sea a little bit more, so more blue shades, which I like, blue and green, so that's very interesting colors, but like I said, more confetti stitches, and I'm not very happy about that. However, I'm nearing the end of the page, and that kind of motivates me to work because I'm nearing onto something. I'm at 16.5 more or less % of the whole picture, and because I noticed that working on projects where I don't have all those parked stitches that get tangled is much smoother and easier, I've decided that when I get to 20% of the picture, doing like vertical kind of page by page, I will just finish the threads that I have parked, just to have much less knots and tangles and just mess in the area of work. So that's a goal, and I guess because this all is 16.5%, 20% should be around this page, so those park stitches should already be gone, just because I'll be working on that page, and I don't know when the 20% mark will happen. Quite possibly next year, so not very soon, but again, we'll see how my motivation to work on Miranda will be, because after this weekend, because I was stitching on Miranda this weekend, it's not super high, I'm really not not in the best of moods for Miranda at the moment because of those confetti stitches. But after a few days, it just might change, and it's like, yay, let's work on Miranda, because I actually like Miranda. It's a pretty fun picture to work on, and I want to get somewhere, you know, that is not the sky, like here, so a bit more of the sea. Somewhere around here, it should already be part of the woman sitting on the rock, because here I think her head will be around here, but I think she sits in such a position that somewhere around here she should already appear, or part of her body should already appear. That's why I am really hoping for getting there quite soon. So this is Miranda. I've worked precisely 500 stitches on it. It wasn't really the plan, it just happened that around 500 stitches was done, and it was mainly the foam and a little bit of the sea already. So that is it. And then the last project I worked on is Avarice. I'm still excited about it. I'm still working a lot on it because I did almost 1,000 stitches here, and I got to over 2%. Yay. And what can I tell you about it? It's a lot of dark, as you can see. I did complete a little bit of this light color here, but mostly it's been dark, either black or dark brown or medium brown. As you can see, I have a few threads parked because I haven't yet gridded this page, but since I am going pretty down on the first page, I know that pretty soon I will have to grid this page so that I can actually stitch on it and not have threads parked. When I had one or two, it wasn't really bothering me, but because now it's the third and there might get more, I really want to grid it and stitch it and not have those threads parked, because it really gets messy. I also want to grid a bit more that way, because this is the second page more or less, and the first row, the top row, now the color is one and the same for quite a long while, so I would also like to thread, hello, focus here, so I would also like to thread grid there, just to know where to go. As you can see, there's this curve here. It's much more of it than it was last time, and this is where the kind of arc will be. There are also a few stitches of this patterned arc, but I think the full pattern of the arc will happen on the second page, so still a long ways to go there, but lighter stitches there, so I want to get there quite soon. So I know I'm over 5,500 stitches. I'm not sure if I got to the 500-600 mark, but yeah, quite a lot of stitches, and still teeny tiny part, because it's not 2.5%. I think it's somewhere around this, but not quite. So a lot of work before me, and yeah, it will take a longer while, this project, and it will take a lot of thread, because there are a lot of stitches of the same color, like still 20 something thousand stitches of black or dark brown. So I'll need a lot of skeins of those colors, but I'm ready. It is kind of depressing to work on such dark colors, and the first page is the corner is very dark. The next pages get a little lighter because while the background is so dark, there is this arc pattern here which has lighter colors, and that's also why I want to get there before winter, before it's really dark. I mean, it's still dark when I get back from work. It's already dark most of the time, but winter time will be much worse, and I want to sort of get to lighter stitches before then so that I don't have dark constantly, and it's not so difficult for my eyes, because when it's dark it's not as fun to stitch, and you know, I mean, you have artificial lighting of course, but I think it will be best to get to lighter stitches at that time. So this is what it looks like. Like I said, quite a nice progress, almost 1,000 stitches. I was not expecting that to happen, but yay, that's really good for me. And hopefully in the next 2 weeks I'll also be able to work like similar amount of stitches, so that all the busyness that will happen later, like, it will slow me down of course, but I will have made enough progress to sort of still be happy that okay, I now have slower weeks, but I know I've worked before, so I'm not that unhappy about it. But yeah, this is the progress on 4 of my projects. I haven't worked on Mini Marvelous Garden at all. The fairy is still somewhere waiting for me to get around to buying beads. So it will take a while before I do that, unfortunately. But Mini Marvelous Garden, I think I'll be able to get to work on next time and show you some progress, but we'll see what happens as usual. I can't really plan too much because then my plans don't really work out so well, and I'm unhappy and sad and have not much positive things to say, just a lot of excuses of why I didn't work as much as I wanted, and it's kind of boring after a while, so I'd rather not do that. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, it's really appreciated. Leave a comment in the comment box below. Consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see the progress on all my works, and also on my crochet and other crafts that I do every other week. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you next time. Bye!